So for years, I've been using a library called Plupload or PL Upload to manage file uploads in my AngularJS applications. And because of that, I've always sort of felt that file management was this sort of magical black box. And I didn't realize until Charles Robinson taught me yesterday that the HTTP client in Angular can actually handle file uploads just like any other type of form post. So to demonstrate, I created a very simple file upload where we can select various files, and what we'll see is that the selection of the files causes those files to be uploaded. We can see the HTTP posts right here, and then the list of files is rendered to the page, and I can click on them and you can see that I can open them up. So let's take a quick look at what's going on behind the scenes. Well, first I had to create a server-side file processor. In order to do this, I created a very naive file processor in Lucy CFML. Naive in the sense that we're saving files directly to an accessible place in the web root, which is very, very dangerous to do. Do not do this in a production application because it opens up for many vulnerabilities. But the idea is I'm just taking the binary post and the file name, and I'm saving the file to that file name on the server, and then I'm returning a URL to that publicly accessible file name. Again, very dangerous, but keeping it simple for the demo. Now, to consume this, I've created an upload service in Angular. The upload service is going to accept the HTTP client as a dependency, and then we're going to be using the HTTP client to perform that file upload. Now, the upload file method here, you can see, takes a file blob from the calling context, and here we're simply taking the HTTP client, calling the post like we would with anything else via the HTTP client, the URL that we're hitting, and here instead of posting an object hash with key value pairs, we're simply providing the file as the body of the post. Now, in addition to providing the file, we also have to take care to provide the content type. Otherwise, the server won't know how to parse this incoming file, and it might accidentally try to parse it as something like a multi-part form post or some other URL encoded format when we actually want to provide it as the type. So if I'm uploading an image, this might be image JPEG or image PNG or some other form of binary content type. And that's all there is to it. Again, just taking the HTTP client, using the normal post method or helper method, the URL, the file blob or binary as the post body, and then telling the server what type of content is in that post. Now, to consume this in the demo here, I'm going to jump up into my app component. The app component will accept the upload service as a dependency. And here, let's just take a quick look at the markup. Here's my file type input. And what we can see is that when the list of files in the input changes, I'm simply grabbing those files and I'm sending them to this upload files method on my app component. The upload files method, super simple. All it does is loop over the collection of files, taking care to create a live copy of the live collection. Then passing that file binary or blob to that upload service, which again is using the HTTP client under the hood. And that's all there is to it. So pretty simple stuff, right? We have our upload service. The upload service accepts the file, does a standard post using the HTTP client, passing the file binary as the body, telling the server what type of content is being posted. And then in the app component, we're simply listening to changes on the file input, taking those files in the file input, looping over them, and passing them to the upload service. For a lot of Angular developers out there, this is probably super obvious, especially considering that file handling is actually touched upon, at least lightly, in the HTTP guide of the Angular I/O site. But the Angular landscape is huge and it's a lot to keep in your head. So if you're like me and you just happen to make poor assumptions and didn't know that the HTTP client supported file uploads, then maybe you got some value out of this post. And huge thanks to Charles Robinson for pointing out the error of my historical assumptions.